Shabbat Shalom. Our scripture reading for today is Psalms 100, verses 3 through 5. Know you that Yahweh, He is Elohim. It is He that has made us, and not we ourselves. We are His people and the sheep of His pasture. Enter into His gates with thanksgiving, and into His courts with praise. Be thankful unto Him, and bless His name. For Yahweh is good, His mercy is everlasting, and His truth endureth to all generations.
Shabbat Shalom, family. Our selection today, grateful.
The oracles of the UCI, 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves. For love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man has received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua the Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you are sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as their children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becomes saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather given of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you upon earth, therefore let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him, and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame, and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
All right, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Which is peace on Yahweh's Holy Sabbath Day. Welcome to another holy convocation that Yahweh has enjoined on us here in this body of Yahshua. Now, it is written that the beast shall cause both small and great, rich and poor, to receive a mark. It is written that no man shall buy or sell, save he that had the mark. This beast has multiple levels, and we may be carrying one of the markings of the beast without our knowledge. Most sport venues, including large coliseums, have become cashless. The cell phone has become the affordable tool to the rich and the poor, and has now become the vehicle through which payment is made and accepted. We must examine technology through a different lens if we are going to notice the markings of the beast. Let's begin today's sermon in Revelation chapter 13.
Revelation chapter 13 and verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?
So then understand now, the beast then is a conglomerate of countries that are ruling the earth. So when you get to each part of this, this broken down part of this beast, these individuals or these countries all fight for control of the same areas. But eventually, they come together. Go ahead.
And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against Elohim, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and languages and nations.
Now, it was given unto this individual who has power from the dragon to war with the saints. The saints won't be able to make it illegal to war against them. The saints won't be able to make it illegal to speak against them. The beast controls the earth. The saints can't pass laws that make it to where you can't talk about them. Listen. Go ahead.
And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of the life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that lends into captivity shall go into captivity.
Now, why does it deal with this? He that leads into captivity shall go into captivity. Now, you back up and start looking at who has been in charge of our captivity, and you're going to find the same set of individuals. You're going to find the same set of countries. He that leads into captivity must go into captivity. It is the basic rule: you reap what you have sown. Whatever you plant, that is what's going to grow. You can't plant corn and expect collards. You have to understand what was planted, and that is what's going to come up. Go ahead.
Verse 10, he that leads into captivity shall go into captivity. He that kills with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Not will be, must be. It is the order of the universe when Yahweh made it. Eventually, what went around, come around. If we are dealing with a circle, sooner or later, what was over here, you're going to either circle and meet it again, or it's going to circle and meet you again. Go ahead.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he does great wonders, so that he makes fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceives them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword, and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
Now, the question is, are we looking for the exact parts of what is written? Are we going to stand in line and get implanted in our head and hand? And this is the thing that we're saying, all right, we need to make sure that we don't do that. Okay? That we don't receive this mark. Now, this mark, it says both small, great, rich, and poor to receive the mark. I don't know if y'all know it, but the cell phone used to be called a car phone. And only rich people could afford this. Okay? Matter of fact, when we saw people at the bus stop, we would laugh, say, look at that person at the bus stop with a car phone. He ain't even got a car. It is no longer called a car phone. They changed the name to cellular phone. And they don't have to make us put it in our hand. We automatically do it on our own. We carry it everywhere we go. It's in the kitchen. It's in the bathroom. It's beside us on the bed. If you go to some places, guess what? You have to use this in your hand to pay for your items because they will not take your cash. Multi-million-dollar coliseum. Go to a basketball game. Go to a football game. Your cash is not accepted. You have to pay with a device in your hand. This device is quite interesting. If you haven't noticed, sometimes you will be talking, and eventually some of the things that you said will pop up on your phone. So the phone listens to you. So you have a device that you willingly carry. It then listens to your conversations and send you advertisements based on your conversation. But that ain't it. The phone don't just listen to you. It listens to itself. So when you get a post that somebody sends to you, you play it out loud. It says some outlandish things. That's not something you looked up. It's just something you played because somebody you know sent it to you. Your phone heard itself. Now the thing in the video that you played starts showing up in your phone. And you said, this is some god-awful stuff. I don't be looking this up. No, it heard itself from your phone and now put it in your feed. And we still think we got to go get implanted with something. You already implanted yourself with it. Because we think we can't survive without it. Parents get to arguing over how fast the children get to get one. Go ahead, brother. Let's go to Exodus chapter 7.
You know, elders, we go there, it says the rich and the poor. And what you're touching on there is that even the third world countries, the so-called poorer countries, have more phones per capita than what we have here.
Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? You ain't got coin, but you got a phone. Why was it made so affordable? And you have to ask yourself, see, some of y'all don't remember this. Phones used to have batteries that you could take out. Why can't you remove the battery and power down this device? So when you turn it off, is it really off? Oh, because you saw the light turn off? Do you think it's off because you saw the light go out? How did all of them agree to make the battery non-accessible? All of them agreed at the same time. These are different companies that make these phones. How did they all agree that you should not have access to the battery in your device? Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 7 and verse 1. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, see, I have made you a god to Pharaoh, and Aaron your brother shall be your prophet. You shall speak all that I command you, and Aaron your brother shall speak unto Pharaoh, that he send the children of Israel out of his land. And I'll harden Pharaoh's heart and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt. But Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that I may lay my hand upon Egypt and bring forth my armies, and my people the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by great judgments. And the Egyptians shall know that I am Yahweh, when I stretch forth my hand upon Egypt and bring out the children of Israel from among them.
So Yahweh doesn't want an easy, smooth transition. His name does not get magnified by the easy, smooth transition. Yahweh said he won't fight. He said, no, I let you do all of this. Now we gonna fight. And Yahweh not trying to Mike Tyson fight. He not trying to knock you out in the first round. No. He trying to prove a point. Now this is the kind of fight when this fighter decided he was going to disrespect Muhammad Ali. And he said, I'm going to call you what your mama call you. Your mama call you Cassius. I'm going to call you Cassius. Muhammad Ali drugged this beating out. He could have beat this dude 5 rounds ago. He tan up on the guy and he back up and said, what's my name? Pop. What's my name? All right. Yahweh said he's doing this to magnify his great holy name, right? Oh, all right. So watch this beating that's about to happen. And he gonna give a few punches, back up, because he know he can knock him out. What's my name? All of a sudden, the heathen calling his name. All of a sudden, they know his name on Sunday morning. What's my name? Okay, go ahead.
And Moshe and Aaron did as Yahweh commanded them. So did they. And Moshe was 80 years old, and Aaron 83 years old, and they spake unto Pharaoh. And Yahweh spake unto Moshe and unto Aaron, saying, When Pharaoh shall speak unto you, saying, Show a miracle for you, then you shall say unto Aaron, Take your rod, and cast it before Pharaoh, and it shall become a serpent. And Moshe and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did so as Yahweh had commanded. And Aaron cast his rod before Pharaoh, and before his servants, and it became a serpent. Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers. Now the magicians of Egypt, they also did in like manner with their enchantments.
Okay, so now we're about to see how the beast is going to operate. It has to present some miracles through magic. This magic that they're going to be using is going to be their technology. Knowing that Yahweh performs miracles, the beast has to prepare itself to be able to perform some miracles. And that's going to come by the way of technology that you don't know exists. But you will be primed for the technology because they'll show you bits and pieces in movies. So that when you see it, you will be a full believer when it happens. Go ahead.
For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents. But Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods. And he hardened Pharaoh's heart, that he hearkened not unto them, as Yahweh had said. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Pharaoh's heart is hardened. He refuses to let the people go. Get you unto Pharaoh in the morning. Lo, he goes out onto the water. And you shall stand by the river's brink against he come. And the rod which was turned to a serpent shall you take in your hand. And you shall say unto him, Yahweh Elohim of the Hebrews has sent me unto you, saying, Let my people go, that they may serve me in the wilderness. And, behold, hitherto you wouldeth not hear. Thus says Yahweh, In this you shall know that I am Yah. Behold, I will smite with the rod that is in mine hand upon the waters which are in the river, and they shall be turned to blood. And the fish that is in the river shall die, and the river shall stink, and the Egyptians shall loathe to drink of the water of the river. And Yahweh spake unto Moshe, Say unto Aaron, Take your rod and stretch out your hand upon the waters of Egypt, upon their streams, upon their rivers, and upon their ponds, and upon all their pools of water, that they may become blood, and that there may be blood throughout all the land of Egypt, both in vessels of wood and in vessels of stone.
All right. Now, we have to consider something that Yahweh said, I will send you into Egypt again via ships. By the way, you shall not see anymore. You have all of these people that say they want to debunk Deuteronomy 28, but no one really deals with why, if America's symbol is the eagle, why is there a pyramid with the all-seeing eye of the Egyptian god Horus on the back of the dollar? Why is that there? He says, I'm going to send you into Egypt again. So you're going to have a second Egypt. Why is there a pyramid on their dollar? They believe that they are all conquering nations. Why would you have the symbol of some other nation that is clearly not you, not of your ethnicity, came from a different part of the world? Why would that be on your money? Now, you have to understand that it must be extremely important to the powers that be for them to put that. Because if you go back to Confederate money, when there was a division between this country, Confederate money had slaves picking cotton on it. Oh, they knew what made their money. Why would a pyramid be on the back? How did you benefit from the pyramid way over there? Why is that close to you? The slave picking cotton made more sense. That's the slave picking cotton in the front yard. I see him. Matter of fact, I see them deliver money from all the work that the slaves picking cotton do. That makes sense. A pyramid on the back of your dollar makes absolutely no sense. Then there are pyramids in pretty much every downtown city skyline in America. Go downtown when it's dark and look up. The obelisk and the pyramid is in every city. Why? There's something going on that the normal people are not aware of, but the powers that be clearly understand what it is they're doing. Go ahead.
Verse 20, and Moshe and Aaron did so, as Yahweh commanded. And he lifted up the rod and smote the waters that were in the river, in the sight of Pharaoh, and in the sight of his servants. And all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood. And the fish that was in the river died, and the river stank. And the Egyptians could not drink of the water of the river. And there was blood throughout all the land of Egypt. And the magicians of Egypt did so with their enchantments, and Pharaoh's heart was hardened. Neither did he hearken unto them, as Yahweh had said. And Pharaoh turned and went into his house, neither did he set his heart to this also. And all the Egyptians digged round about the river for water to drink, for they could not drink of the water of the river. And 7 days were fulfilled after that Yahweh had smitten the river.
All right. So we see that the magicians mimicked what miracles they saw. And we understand that the technology is going to be used to perform that in this day and time. Now, in the Incredible Hulk movie, they used a supersonic weapon to fight against the Hulk. Recently in Venezuela, the people reported being disabled by a weapon that made them defenseless. And in that later, this recent, I think, Stranger Things, they use it, and the girl is bleeding from her nose. The same thing that those people reported that was happening unto them. So the question is, how long they had that weapon? And if that's the one they let out now, how many other ones they have? There was a movie that Samuel Jackson was in. It was called Kingsman, The Secret Service. Now, in this movie, a computer program was installed on cell phones, and when it was activated, mankind would turn on each other, even unaliving their own offspring at the direction of the program. This is where that little tidbit of the phone not being able to have the battery removed becomes very important. So just like they put in the movie one part of this weapon, this entire part of the attack happened through the download of the chip that they all had in their hand. That's interesting. Let's go to Numbers chapter 14. It is important to note that because of the great greed of this country, the chips are no longer made in this country. So consider if that chip possibly has a back door from the other individuals who created it. And I don't know if you know about working on anything electronic. Everything has a back door. Everything has to allow the technician the ability to work on it. When you go to the phone shop, you say, my phone dead. They said, give it to me. They said, no, sir, I'm telling you, I done everything. I said, give me the phone, boy. Now turn around and look that way. Why I need to look that way? I said, boy, turn around and look that way. And when you turn back, your phone all lit up. Now, hold on, Mr. Man. How do you do that? I've been working with this for a week. Don't worry about what I do, how I do, and when I do it. Just pay the $49.95 and get out my store. Okay. But then there's some things that's possible that they're not telling you. All right. Numbers chapter 14, and let's start that at verse 13.
And Moshe said unto Yahweh, then the Egyptians shall hear it, for you brought up this people in your might from among them, and they will tell it to the inhabitants of this land. For they have heard that you, Yahweh, are among this people, that Yahweh art seen face to face, and that your cloud stands over them, and that you go before them by daytime in a pillar of a cloud, and in a pillar of fire by night. Now if you shall kill all this people as one man, then the nations which have heard the fame of you will speak, saying, because Yahweh was not able to bring this people into the land which he swore unto them, therefore he has slain them in the wilderness. And now I beseech you, let the power of my Adonai be great, according as you have spoken, saying, Yahweh is long-suffering and of great mercy, forgiving lawlessness and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the lawlessness of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation. Pardon, I beseech you, the lawlessness of this people according unto the greatness of your mercy, and as you have forgiven this people from Egypt even until now.
You know, the only time you really appreciate mercy is when you done something wrong. You know, this just sounds like words. Oh, he's great mercy. It don't mean nothing to you until you mess up. And the longer you don't mess up, the less mercy means to you. So every now and then you need to mess up. Every now and then he might have to show you something. I think you forgot how great mercy is. Let me go ahead and let you fall right there. I've been holding you up all this time. But I don't think you respecting that I've been holding you up. I'm just gonna step out the way. I'm gonna let you hit the ground, and then I'm gonna let you meet mercy again. Because apparently you forgot her. Mercy, meet my dumb child, meet mercy. Now you need to get acquainted with mercy again. Then you operate a little differently. Every now and then you need to meet mercy again. See, after a while, you forget how beautiful she is. You forget how kind she is. You forget how loving she is. So you need to meet her again. But the only way to meet her is to mess up. You don't have no reason to meet mercy. Matter of fact, if you see her when you're doing good, you be like, oh, there go Mercy. What's she doing here? Yeah. But when you do wrong, when you fall short of what you were supposed to do, oh, you see her from a mile off. There go Mercy! You coming over here? Yeah. You look for her differently. Now you excited at her presence. Okay. Go ahead, brother. Where we at?
Verse 20. And Yahweh said, I have pardoned according to your word. But as truly as I live, all the earth shall be filled with the glory of Yah. Because all of those men which have seen my glory and my miracles, which I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and have tempted me now these 10 times, and have not hearkened to my voice, surely they shall not see the land which I swear unto their fathers, neither shall any of them that provoked me see it.
Neither shall any of them that provoked me see it. Let's go to Yohanan chapter 3. That is a group that we do not want to be in. Now, we're all going to fall and come short. Don't think just because we read this book, we've been baptized in his name, that we're gonna walk and be sinless on the earth. Now, you got another thing coming if that's what you think. There's some things that need to be purged out of us that we don't even know in there. Yohanan chapter 3, and I want you to read verses 1 and 2.
There was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Yehudims. The same came to Yahshua by night, and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that you are a teacher come from Elohim. For no man can do these miracles that you doeth, except Elohim be with him.
Now, wait a minute. No man can do these miracles that you do, except Elohim be with him. All right. Now, the adversary understands this. So he said, wait a minute. If I can show miracles, they're going to believe me. When the fire shot down out of heaven in Job, they said it was a fire of Elohim. That was Lucifer. Lucifer called that fire to come out of heaven and devour all those things. What was their report when they came to Job? The fire of Elohim came down and devoured them. That was attributed unto Yahweh. That was not him. So, by the clear part of our wanting to see this sign or miracle opens the door for the adversary. As it is written, the Jews seek after a sign. So then, we have now made an open door for something to be presented unto us, whereby we will fall down to it because of that sign. Now let's go to Revelation chapter 13. And we understand that the adversary does have this ability, as he told Yahshua, just fall down and worship me, and all shall be yours. It is given unto me, I give it unto whom I will. Well, then he has the ability to give blessings. Once again, now we have a real division in our relationship with our Elohim. Because as our Elohim could give us something, so can the adversary, the devil. So let's say we pray for something. Yahweh says, you know what? No, that's not good for you at this time. The devil said, well, you know what? I got one. Won't you come down here? I got exactly what you need. Yahweh says, look, I don't think you're ready for that right now. I can work with you and build you up to the point where you'll be able to handle that. The adversary, the devil, said, look, don't worry about it. I can get to you tonight. How many of us will return a blessing if it didn't come from the right source? How many of us would even ask, wait a minute, but before I accept this, Yahweh, did you give me this? Because I distinctly remember you directing me in another way. Maybe you changed your mind and decided to give it to me. Or maybe this ain't you. Go ahead, brother.
Revelations chapter 13 and verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
So this beast, these countries that are going to rule the earth have no real connection with Yahweh. Now, they'll use anything that they want to use to get the power that they want, but they are directly against him. That's something that we have to understand as we look at all of the countries that wield power on the earth. Understand that they are in direct opposition to Yahweh. Go ahead.
And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemies against Elohim, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven.
Now, verse 5, and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months. Go ahead.
You want to continue? That was verse 6.
Okay, go to chapter 16.
Revelations chapter 16 and verse 1. And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, Go your ways, and pour out the vials of the wrath of Elohim upon the earth.
Stop. The first thing you hear on Sunday morning is God is not angry with you. Brother, read verse 1 again.
And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, Go your ways, and pour out the vials of the wrath of Elohim upon the earth.
The wrath of Elohim upon the earth. Yet, Sunday morning teaches God is not angry. We must understand that this is the New Testament. This is the only part of the book that Sunday morning deals with. How did a thought process develop that he's not angry? He has emotions. Go ahead.
And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image.
So then we have to understand, how far will we allow some of the things to go that we end up dealing with? Because we can allow some things to go too far. And now we have some serious problems with our Elohim. Go ahead.
And the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became as the blood of a dead man, and every living soul died in the sea. And the third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers and fountains of waters, and they became blood. And I heard the angel of the waters say, You are righteous, O Adonai, which art and was and shall be, because you have judged thus. For they have shed the blood of the saints and prophets, and you have given them blood to drink, for they are worthy.
Now, none of the people who have done this believe that they are worthy. So this is why, as we're looking for one mark, the beast has markings. These people are not going to believe that they're on the wrong side. They believe that the blood that they shed, that those people deserve to die. They convinced themselves during slavery that these are not men, they're merely one step above animals, so it doesn't matter if you kill them in any shape, fashion, or form. Go ahead.
And I heard another out of the altar say, even so, Adonai El Shaddai, true and righteous are your judgments. And the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and the power was given unto him to scorch men with fire.
Right. Well, they've been worshiping the sun. Why not give it to them? Every other day, we watch planes spray some substance in the air that completely blocks the sun. What are they preparing for? You know, at one point, you not saying that you agree, but you can understand why they would be blocking the sun during the summer. Why are you blocking the sun during the winter again? It can't be that bad in the winter. What are you really blocking? What are you preparing for? You have a whole generation that don't really know what clouds are supposed to look like. That people actually look and say, man, the clouds look funny. You think that's a cloud? That ain't no cloud. Clouds move. These things just sit still over your head. Go ahead.
And men were scorched with great heat, and blasphemed the name of Elohim, which has power over these plagues, and they repented not to give him glory.
And you can see how powerful these sprays that they put in the sky are, because if you outside at the right time, you can see the sun in the morning as it's rising up. When it gets up to the level where they've sprayed the clouds, it disappears. It disappears the entire day until it's coming back down. Now you see the sun at the end of the day. Now wait a minute. So the sun come up and disappear, but then you see it come back down. Well, where he go? Did he go clock in somewhere? He had to go to work. Where he go? How he show up in the morning and you see him come back? Do he work at the Ford plant? Well, how he just disappeared all throughout the whole day, but you saw him going to work and you saw the sun coming home. Right. Something else is going on. Go ahead.
Verse 10, and the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues for pain, and blasphemed the Elohim of heaven because of their pains and their sores, and repented not of their deeds. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. And I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the spirits of devils, working miracles.
Slow down. They are the spirits of devils working miracles. Go ahead.
Which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of El Shaddai.
Now, so there must be a battle, and they must be convinced to go to war. Something is going to convince all of them that this is something that they need to do. Now, in just the thought process of the spirits of devils working miracles, and we understand certain things about technology. Brother, I want you to read about this old movie that was basically a kid's movie. I want you to read about that for me.
Small Soldiers is a 1998 American action comedy film directed by Joe Dante. It depicts two factions of toys which develop independent personalities after mistakenly being installed with advanced military-level technology, in turn putting two families in danger when one faction turns lethal while targeting the other faction.
Now, understand, this is 1998. Go ahead.
When top defense contractor Global Tech Industries acquires the Heartland Toy Company, CEO Gil Mars commissions toy designers Larry Benson and Erwin Wayfair to develop toys capable of playing back.
Now, playing back is a really interesting term. We're going to come back to that. Go ahead.
Mars selects Larry's Commando Elite action figures for the project with Erwin's Gorgonites. Peaceful monsters intended to be educational toys as their enemies. Facing a tight deadline of 3 months to get the toys ready for shipment, Larry unwittingly equips the toys with Global Tech's X1000 microprocessor, which he and Erwin later learned was meant for the Department of Defense.
So, these toys got the wrong chip in them and became weapons. Now, that's an interesting thought process in 1998. Now, this term, playing back. Read the next paragraph.
It is important to note that playing back was the term used to describe what we would call today artificial intelligence.
Wait a minute. Artificial intelligence was what they were dealing with in 1998. The toys, when given this chip, would have the ability to process information and act on its own. Go ahead.
Today, warfare is committed by what we would have once before deemed as toys. These toy drones are able to cause massive amounts of destruction without the need of physical human presence. Extremely dangerous and intense tests must be conducted to develop advanced weaponry.
All right, so let's read a little bit about some of these dangerous tests.
The United States conducted 67 nuclear tests in the Marshall Islands from 1946 to 1958, primarily at Bikini and Wetak atolls, including the 1954 15-megaton Castle Bravo detonation. These tests caused severe, long-lasting health issues, including cancer and birth defects, and rendered several islands uninhabitable due to radioactive fallout.
Now, one of the things that we have to understand, once these chemicals change certain structures or your DNA, if you will, you're passing these problems on. Go ahead.
Key details regarding the Marshall Islands nuclear tests. Total tests, 67 atmospheric and underwater nuclear tests were conducted by the U.S. between 1946 and 1958. Major events. The Castle Bravo test, 1954, was the largest U.S. nuclear device ever detonated, roughly 1,000 times more powerful than the Hiroshima bomb.
Stop. 1,000 times more powerful than Hiroshima. So this is what they're testing. If you understand and go and read about the destruction, the long-term effects that hydrogen bomb had, they already had something 1,000 times more powerful than it. Go ahead.
Impact on residents. Residents of Bikini and Inwitak were forcibly relocated. Many Marshallese suffered from radiation-related illnesses, such as cancer, thyroid nodules, and birth defects.
Mm-hmm.
Environmental damage. The test resulted in significant radioactive contamination, making many areas uninhabitable and leaving behind ashes of death. Legacy. The UN Human Rights Council is involved in addressing the lasting health and environmental consequences of the test.
Right. And if you go and watch a documentary on these Marshall Islands, they'll tell you that the same things that happened with us in Tuskegee, they just documented their pain. They didn't treat them. So the same things that we think is just an isolated incident, you know, when we look at the Tuskegee experiments, they make you think it's small because they just say Tuskegee. They don't want to tell you that the U.S. Health Department was in that. And now you have this. They're giving these people medicine that really won't do anything. But they're documenting, and now they have full knowledge of what the radioactive part of this weapon will do. 67 tests is a lot of tests. And you say, you know what? You know, they went off the shores of America to do that. Well, smaller tests they did in Las Vegas and other areas. Those tests, right among those Native American so-called areas that are protected, whole bunch of bomb tests done there as well. So let's go to Exodus chapter 1. Exodus chapter 1, and I want you to read verses 8 through 22.
Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply. And it come to pass that, when there falls out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us.
All right, pause. Do we not see the dealing wisely right now? Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, these people that's from right across the border are being forcibly ejected. They have grown mightily here. Those people who were once a minority began to really multiply here. So you understand that this mindset doesn't leave the powers that be. And they will inflict this upon anybody who they feel like gets too big. Go ahead.
And so get them up out of the land. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. And they were grieved because of the children of Israel. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor.
Mm-hmm.
And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage, in mortar and in brick, and in all manner of service in the field. All their service, wherein they made them serve, was with rigor.
So making a group of people work basically their fingers to the bone, they don't have a whole lot of time to do marches and rallies and, you know, things like that. They got enough energy to go home, go to sleep, to get ready to do it again the next day. You didn't find no sharecroppers out on no picket lines. Their energy was going to be used to make something that they could feed their family. Go ahead.
And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of the one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, When you do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and you see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then you shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live.
And you have the plan of colonization right here, to destroy the males but absorb the females. This same plan has not changed and still works in the earth at this very moment. Destroy the males either mentally, physically, or spiritually, and absorb the females and use them as incubators to pass on your seed. You have to ask yourself, why would they leave the women alive? Go ahead.
But the midwives feared Elohim and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, Why have you done this thing, and have saved the men children alive?
Uh-huh.
And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, Because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively, and are delivered, ere the midwives come in unto them. Therefore Elohim dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared Elohim, that he made them houses.
Because they would not follow this order. Go ahead.
And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, Every son that is born you shall cast into the river, and every daughter you shall save alive.
Now, it's important to notice that there was a policy. The first policy was meant to destroy them basically internally within childbirth. When that didn't work, then command all the people, this is your job, to go and destroy the male children of this people. That's interesting. That's two separate levels of the same policy. So it's designed that the males should die in childbirth. How are they going to present that? So we say if it's a male child, you should kill it. Okay. Well, let's look at that for a moment. Can they then do some things to make sure that the child dies and then say it was just a medical mistake? Interesting. Go to the next graphic, and I want to read a little bit about chemical warfare.
You know, Elder, with this whole situation, he decided to keep the women children alive, to kill the male children, right? So with today's concept, right, the kids that these Egyptian men would have with these Hebrew women, wouldn't they be Jewish through their mama?
They ain't going to be nothing through their mama. They going to be Egyptian because their daddy was Egyptian.
Right.
See, everybody on the earth understands that except us. Everybody on the earth understands that. But see, we listen to folks who use things for their little deception, but you understand something. They don't operate that way. People may tell you one thing, but you'll find out they're not letting you mingle into their family. They're not showing you any images of their family mingling. Go ahead.
Chemical warfare. The idea of using smallpox-infected blankets as biological warfare against Native Americans emerged from documented incidents during the French and Indian War.
I just want to give you the gift. Now, remember when this new medicine, and watch what words you use when you're reading it, medicine, and I quote, Biden said, y'all should get it first. Now, they ain't never wanted us to be first in nothing. Now, all of a sudden, they said we should get it first. But on his way out, I think he pardoned himself, and the person in charge of saying we should get it first. Now, ask yourself a question. Why all those people needed pardoning? Go ahead.
Particularly at Fort Pitt in 1763, where British officers, including Lord Geoffrey Amherst, discussed and authorized giving smallpox-contaminated items like blankets and handkerchiefs to besieged indigenous groups, believing the disease miasma could be transmitted through the fabrics to weaken them, though historical debate continues on the extent and success of this crude germ warfare tactic.
This germ war tactic. Go ahead.
Key figures and incidents. Captain Simeon Ecuyer, 1763, commander at Fort Pitt during Pontiac's rebellion. Ecuyer reported giving smallpox-infected blankets and a handkerchief to chiefs, hoping for an effect against the tribes surrounding the fort. Notes Colonel Williamsburg and NIH.
Now, the National Institute of Health. So if anybody wants to go to fact check, this is what they said concerning these events. That they passed out, and I want you to look at the transaction. See, we could have showed you something, a bunch of smallpox on people, and it looks, it's devastating. I mean, just looking at the pictures make you itch. But rather than look at that, I want you to look at the peaceful exchange. Now, I don't want you to think about the itchy smallpox. What I want you to think about is how peaceful this exchange is. That's what I want you to pay attention to. You think everybody who frown at you is your enemy, and everybody who smile at you is your friend. This is a peaceful exchange as they are exchanging death. Go ahead.
Lord Geoffrey Amherst, 1763, the British commander-in-chief. Amherst corresponded with Ecuyer, supporting the idea of sending smallpox to disaffected tribes through blankets, as detailed in letters found by Amherst College and History.com. William Trent, 1763, a fur trader present at Fort Pitt. Trent documented giving these infected items in his journal, providing direct evidence, according to the American Society of Microbiology.
Okay, so then we know that these tactics were used. So when you talk about just how far the technology has come, is there a more covert method that could be used to perform the same actions? That then becomes a real question. So then, as we deal with this thing of warfare, go to the next graphic, because there's some things about warfare that we don't consider is warfare. Go ahead.
The 13th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, ratified in 1865, formally abolished slavery and involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for a crime.
Stop. So, you are no longer a slave unless you commit a crime. This would be called a loophole in the very design of the freedom. So, you're no longer a slave as long as you don't commit a crime. The problem is, now everything is going to be made into a crime. You talk too loud, it's a crime. You went to the store and you stayed too long, it's a crime. You being out during the daytime, oh, you should have been working, it's a crime. Now, you can legally be enslaved because you have been deemed a criminal. So it's not just by happenstance that we are known as this criminal element. We must be the criminal element, because that's the only way that we could be legally enslaved again. Go ahead.
Making it the first of the Reconstruction Amendments after the Civil War. It gave Congress the power to enforce this with legislation, paving the way for civil rights laws, though the punishment for crime exception was led to debates about forced prison labor. Key provisions. Section 1, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted.
Right. So as long as that party has been, according to the law, duly convicted, they can be placed back in slavery. Do we realize that in that prison system you have people working for a quarter an hour? But they're working for major corporations. So then I go back to the days of convict leasing, where the convicts were leased out to other companies. Legitimate companies who won't hire them when they go and apply for a job, because they say all I need to do is wait until you commit a crime, and instead of paying you $25 an hour, I'm going to pay you 25 cents an hour. Go ahead.
Shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction.
All right. So all you have to do by this is what's written in the law. Once they are criminals, you can become slaves again legally. So all we have to do is make sure you stay angry. So let's go to the next graphic.
Elevated manganese levels, particularly from chronic inhalation or high environmental exposure, are linked to increased aggression, irritability, and violent tendencies by disrupting brain chemistry, especially serotonin and dopamine systems, though the link is complex and seen more in occupational environmental settings than typical water intake.
Typical water intake or environmental settings. So you mean something can be sprayed? Oh, that's interesting. So something can be sprayed that makes you more aggressive. Now that is really interesting. Keep reading, brother.
Studies show associations between high manganese and delinquent, aggressive behavior in children and adults, which links to neurological changes and conditions like ADHD.
So some of this sprays, it is going to affect the younger adults more than it affects the adults. So then, now we're separated from each other. Because now the OGs said, man, these young kids, these young, but they're just crazy. Wait a minute. The sprays affect them more than it affect a person with a fully developed immune system. Interesting. Go ahead.
Heavy metals can cause health problems by affecting the biological structure even at very low concentrations. As asymptomatic heavy metal poisoning causes nonspecific symptoms such as behavioral disorders, difficulty in learning, and aggressive behaviors. Studies have shown valuable data to associate a significant relationship between adolescents' aggression levels and heavy metals.
All right, so if where was that in Flint, Michigan? They found all of these problems in the water. All right, so if certain things were introduced that these individuals just become more violent, then as their aggression and irritability increases, they then commit the crime that then makes them a slave again. Interesting little circle. Go ahead.
There's an undeniable relationship between the health of adolescents and environmental pollution caused by heavy metals. Therefore, taking the necessary measures to prevent environmental heavy metal pollution is crucial for adolescent health.
All right. So on this other one here, it gets interesting. This is aluminum is often categorized as a heavy metal in health context because it can accumulate in the body and cause toxicity. Despite being a light metal, low density, and abundant in the earth's crust, appearing in cookware, food, water, and some medications. In some cases, your deodorant got aluminum in it. So if we then are sprayed things that eventually fall down and we have more metals in us, we are having some other issues. While chemically a base metal is potential to induce oxidative stress and linked to neurological issues like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, places it in the same concern category as lead, mercury, and cadmium. Interesting. Now, in just dealing with, we're going to come back to some of this, but I want you to read the next graphic, because if all of this feeds into this system of crime, court, servitude. I want you to read about this new movie that's coming out.
Elder, before we go there, that same aluminum you were talking about in the deodorant, a lot of people have gotten away from it. Wasn't that what was causing people not to sweat? So it was blocking up your pores?
What they call antiperspirant, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And then we use that aluminum foil and put it over our food, and that stuff is just draining down into the food without us even knowing.
Well, we don't want to sweat. We don't want to, God forbid we sweat. But then you have to consider, the more we sweat, the more whatever is in you come out.
Yep.
But it don't look pretty. Go ahead.
Mercy is a 2026 sci-fi thriller starring Chris Pratt as a detective accused of murdering his wife, who must prove his innocence to an AI judge within 90 minutes before he is executed. All of this happens in the same day. In this movie, the AI program is the judge, jury, and the executioner.
Now, what are they getting us ready for? The 90 minutes that he has to prove his innocence is the actual 90 minutes of the movie. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 17. See, while we're looking for one form of the mark of the beast is making markings all over the place. But we're focused on one. Leviticus 17, and let's start at verse 1.
And Yahweh spake unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto Aaron, and unto his sons, and unto all the children of Israel, and say unto them, This is the thing which Yahweh has commanded, saying, What man soever there be of the house of Israel, that kills an ox, or a lamb, or a goat in the camp, or that kills it out of the camp, and brings it not unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, to offer an offering unto Yahweh before the tabernacle of Yah, blood shall be imputed unto that man. He has shed blood, and that man shall be cut off from among his people.
So then this blood is a very important resource, if you will, not just for the body in its existence, but even in death. This blood is very important. Go ahead.
To the end that the children of Israel may bring their sacrifices, which they offer in the open field, even that they may bring them unto Yah, unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, unto the priest, and offer them for peace offerings unto Yah. And the priest shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar of Yahweh at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and burn the fat for a sweet savor unto Yah. And they shall no more offer their sacrifices unto devils, after whom they have gone a whoring. This shall be a statute forever unto them throughout their generations. And you shall say unto them, Whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers which sojourn among you, that offers a burnt offering or sacrifice, and brings it not unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, to offer it unto Yah, even that man shall be cut off from among his people. And whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, that eats any manner of blood. I will even set my face against that soul that eats blood, and will cut him off from among his people. For the life of the flesh is in the blood.
For the life of the flesh is in the blood. Now, anytime something becomes important or a building block, if you will, for Yahweh, it then also tells you where the adversary and the beast is going to attack. Go ahead.
And I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls. For it is the blood that makes an atonement for the soul. Therefore I have said unto the children of Israel, no soul of you shall eat blood, neither shall any stranger that sojourns among you eat blood. And whatsoever man there be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, which hunts and catches any beast or fowl that may be eaten, he shall even pour out the blood thereof and cover it with the dust.
Right. But what does this nation do? When they kill an animal, they give you a television program and show you a steak, and they say, this is a juicy steak. And they cut into it, and red juice just start pouring out of it. And you find out they didn't cook that steak at all. Browned it for a second or two, cut in the middle, and told you it was juice. They eating blood. But we wouldn't even consider that as one of the markings of the beast. And we go to a buffet and get pressured. Them people get mad at you when you say, you know what, no, cook mine some more. Oh, you want me to burn it? Yes. Yes, I want you to send my steak to purgatory. Send it to the lake of fire. You understand what I'm saying to you? My steak been bad. All right? Now flip it over and send it back to hell again. Because I need mine cooked. But we will let people talk us into things not knowing what the beast uses to get off into your mind. Go ahead.
For it is the life of all flesh. The blood of it is for the life thereof. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, you shall eat the blood of no manner of flesh. For the life of all flesh is the blood thereof. Whosoever eats it shall be cut off.
Whosoever eats it shall be cut off. So this blood is important. Let's go to Mark chapter 14. Mark chapter 14, and I want you to read verses 22 through 25.
And as they did eat, Yahshua took bread, and blessed, and brake it, and gave to them, and said, take, eat, this is my body. And he took the cup, and when he had given thanks, he gave it to them, and they all drank of it. And he said unto them, this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many. Verily I say unto you, I will drink no more of the fruit of the vine until that day that I drink it new in the kingdom of Elohim.
All right. So then this blood that is important for life is also important when it comes down to the connection to salvation. So now I want you to go to the next graphic, and I'll read that for me.
Sickle cell, 1904. An unknown and unnamed blood disorder was informally described by a medical intern named Ernest Edwards Irons, when examining the blood of Walter Clement, a 20-year-old dental student from Grenada, West Indies. Peculiar, elongated, and sickle-shaped is how sickle cells were first described in 1904 by intern Ernest Edward Irons when examining the blood of Walter Clement Noel, a 20-year-old first-year dental student from a wealthy black family in Grenada. Noel had been admitted to the Chicago Presbyterian Hospital suffering from anemia and was readmitted several times over the next 3 years before completing his studies and returning to Grenada to successfully practice dentistry. He died of pneumonia in 1916. 1949, noted physical chemist Linus Pauling, an associate, published Sickle Cell Anemia, a molecular disease in Science. This paper explains how protein electrophoresis was used to show that sickle cell hemoglobin differed in structure from normal hemoglobin. This was the first time that the cause of a disease was linked to a change in protein structure. Sickle cell screening began at the state level in New York in 1975, making it the first U.S. state to do so, following the Federal National Sickle Cell Anemia Control Act of 1972, with wider adoption across the U.S. occurring by the late 1980s and becoming universal by 2006.
All right. So while that is happening, we want to read something else here. Go to the that we read before about the damage of heavy metals. All right. Now go to the next graphic for me.
Thimerosal is a mercury-based preservative that has been used for decades in the United States in multiple dose vials.
Watch your wording. Go ahead.
Vials containing more than one dose of medicines and
the jab.
And the jab.
All right. Now, so this is mercury. Now, wait a minute. Now, we talked about what the heavy metals do in adolescence. This is young people. Now, there was medicine that had mercury in it, and that was given to toddlers, newborn babies. Now, if the metal did more damage the younger the child was, because remember, it caused attitude problems in adults, more problem in adolescents. So then what kind of problem did it cause in an infant who has no defense whatsoever? All right, go ahead.
Where we at?
The first dot.
In July 1999, the Public Health Service agencies, the American Academy of Pediatrics, and jab manufacturers agreed that thimerosal should be reduced or eliminated in jabs as a precautionary measure.
As a precautionary measure, they just said that thimerosal, which is mercury, should be removed. Now, they said this in 1999. So how long had certain people, been getting mercury introduced into their body as an infant? According to some of the very people who are on the health panel of this country, they stated that this agent was primarily used in communities of color. Those people are on the health board of this country right now. Right now. They were approved by the current president. They said that it was given unto us. See, our problem is somebody will tell us that there's a medicine, but we don't have the thought process to think that that medicine looks the same in the same package, but they have numbers on them, and those numbers, those lot numbers mean something. So those people who are told to administer it are told to look at the lot number and give that lot number to a certain group of people and give this lot number to another group of people. Now, all of those people come up without any sickness, and all of these people come up with the sickness. So then they will say, it must just be y'all genetics. Interesting. Go ahead.
You know, Elder, when this person was talking, he couldn't get a platform. Now he got a platform and he ain't talking.
Right. Isn't that interesting? That person, I read that person's book. And it was some very, very heavy stuff in that book. I ain't heard them talk since they got on the panel. That is interesting. Go ahead.
Thimerosal is added to vials of jabs that contain more than one dose, multiple dose vials.
Now, if you go back to people say that what caused their infant problems was the multi-dose one. So you have one, and we won't think about there will be some of those that are listed and they have three things. They're all in together. That's the multi-dose that it's talking about. Go ahead.
To prevent growth of germs like bacteria and fungi. Introduction of bacteria and fungi has the potential to occur when a syringe needle enters a vial as a jab is being prepared for administration. Contamination by germs in a jab could cause severe local reactions, serious illness, or death. In some jab, preservatives, including thimerosal, are added during the manufacturing process to prevent germ growth. Thimerosal was taken out of childhood jabs in the United States in 2001.
Right. And if these things were removed in 2001, what happened in all of those things previously? Why were they removed? And what was the consequences that it caused in a lot of individuals before it was removed? If you start doing any research on sickle cell, they'll tell you how you'll get it. It's just passed down from genetics. And if you have the trait and the person you procreate with has the trait, then you will produce a child who has the disease. The question is, where did the trait really come from? That's interesting. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. And we have to keep in mind that it is known that chemical or germ warfare is indeed an option that is used whenever it seems that one group is elevating too high. This is something. Remember the calmness as the smallpox blankets were being passed out. Deuteronomy 28, and let's start at verse 58.
If you will not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that you may fear this glorious and fearful name, Yahweh your Elohim, then Yahweh will make your plagues wonderful. And the plagues of your seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sickness, and of long continuance.
Wait a minute. Yahweh said, now this is the correlation we don't want to make. We'll like to make every other correlation except that one that causes us to change what we're doing. Go ahead.
Moreover, he will bring upon you all the diseases of Egypt, which you was afraid of, and they shall cleave on to you.
The disease shall cleave unto you. Go ahead.
Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law.
He said that they got stuff they ain't even invented it yet. You gonna get that too. But why? Because you refuse to serve your Elohim in truth and in spirit. That is the last thing that'll come to our mind. Go ahead.
Then will Yahweh bring upon you until you be destroyed. And you shall be left few in number, whereas you were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because you would not obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim. And it shall come to pass that as Yahweh rejoiced over you to do you good and to multiply you, so Yahweh will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught. And you shall be plucked from off the land whether you go to possess it. And Yahweh shall scatter you among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there you shall serve other gods, which neither you nor your fathers have known, even wood and stone.
All right. So then you're going to have sicknesses that's going to cleave onto you. You're going to be spread out and scattered all over the globe. And then you're going to learn to worship other gods. We won't connect our health problem with our worship issue. Them two correlations that we just ain't trying to make. Go ahead.
And among these nations shall you find no ease, neither shall the sole of your foot have rest. But Yahweh shall give you there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. And your life shall hang in doubt before you, and you shall fare day and night, and shall have non-assurance of your life.
All right. In Deuteronomy 28 and 35, it says, Yahweh will smite you in the knees and in the legs with a sore botch that cannot be healed, from the sole of your foot unto the top of your head. So we need to get it into our mind that walking in the culture of what he has given us doesn't just affect you spiritually. It is going to eventually affect you physically. Let's go to Genesis chapter 11. We'll get up and go to the gym 5 o'clock in the morning. I need to work on my body. I need to be in top shape. The last time you read your Bible? Oh, I don't do that. Oh. So we'll deal with one part, but not the other. See, we need to have a real, what they say, comprehensive health package. We won't even think about prayer as part of our health package. See, we've separated the spiritual part from the physical part. But Yahweh went right into it. He said, oh, no. I'm going to attack you physically because you didn't worship me in the way that I told you to. He didn't say, I'm going to attack you spiritually because you didn't deal with the spirit of my word. No. He said, I'm going to attack you in your knees. I'm going to hit you with a sore botch. That won't even cross our mind. Go ahead, brother. Genesis chapter 11. Let's read verses 1 through 9.
And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another. Now
Shinar is Babel. Every part of the beast is referred to as Babylon. Go ahead.
Go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach on to heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And Yahweh came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men built. And Yahweh said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech.
So Yahweh's desire was to separate the people along their family lines, give them different languages. What we say? No, we gonna bypass the separation that Yahweh has made, and we are going to mingle with those nations. We're going to learn the languages so we can mingle with those nations. But we ain't even got to learn languages no more. You can buy an earpiece now that will translate what the person is saying in front of you, and you hear in your language. Oh, that'll make translation quick. You can take your handy little beast device here and speak in your language, and it'll say what you want it to say in the language that Them people in front of you speak. You ain't got to spend all that time learning language no more. You got your hand in the beast tool. It will do it for you. You go anywhere in the world. Hold on. Yeah, chicken. Yeah. Yeah. It's all over the world. So here it is. Yahweh causes separation, but the beast makes it easy to erase that. He wants you, no. He wants you to go everywhere. He wants to merge all of these things because he wants to get back to his one world government where the beast rules over everything. Now, look at that pyramid on the back of your dollar again and ask yourself, what does that mean? One world government. Right. Go ahead.
So Yahweh scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because Yahweh did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did Yahweh scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth.
Right. But Babylon is constantly trying to heal itself and regather because it wants to do great changes and damages, and it can do that better once it merges with like-minded individuals. But let us hear the conclusion of this matter. Let's go to Revelation chapter 19. And we're going to start that at verse 11.
And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he does judge and make war.
Now, with all of this advanced weaponry, you can see how the nations are going to be built up and believe that they are ready for success. You have basically toys that have become weapons, and here comes this individual with a primitive horse. You got a horse? I got 100 of those in my car. You just got one horse? I got over 100 horsepower. You got one? Come on, man. We got to be able to beat this guy. Okay. Go ahead.
His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name was called the Word of Elohim. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goes a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And he treads the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of El Shaddai.
Now understand, those evil spirits have pushed all the nations to come and be a part of this battle. So they are pushed. They believe that this is where they're supposed to be. Go ahead.
And he has on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Adonai of Adonais. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, Come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great El, that you may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of all them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great. And I saw the beasts, and the kings of the earth, and their armies, gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse, and against his army.
The nations are gathering together to fight Yahshua. We need to just rattle that around in your head. You have all of these people that talk about how they love the Lord. Maybe that was Lord Amherst, the one which Lord, who that is they love, because they are going to gather together to fight against him. Go ahead.
And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. And the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth.
Which sword proceeded out of his mouth? He is called the word of Elohim, and the word that proceeds out of his mouth will cut asunder. Go ahead.
And all the fowls were filled with their flesh.
So then we have to ask ourselves, are we going to allow the word to cut us now or to cut us then? Because if it cut you now, you get to change. If it cuts you then, you're going to die. Choose when you're going to get cut. That's all that we're going to do for today. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.